And that's how you get an Adam's apple. See? Look, I've got one. I don't actually know if it's going to show up. I hope you can see it. That's going to be awkward if you can't. Can you see it? Hello, you little spuds of the earth. Today's video is all about this little guy, this blob of cartilage on my neck. Yep, this thing right here. Welcome. I do not have the world's biggest or most visible Adam's apple, but mine is visible and size doesn't matter. Well, actually, in this case, it does seem to, because a lot of people over the years have asked and have actually been confused as to why I have an Adam's apple that is visible. I've even had quite a few people on several occasions not believe I'm trans because I have an Adam's apple. Because a lot of people think that it isn't possible to have an Adam's apple if you're a trans guy, and therefore either I'm not trans and I'm a cis guy pretending to be a trans guy, or I got it some other way, like eating an apple or makeup or maybe even surgery, because there is a surgical procedure that can give you one. But the truth is, I grew it myself. In a test tube. I didn't. It was a mixture of testosterone and genetics, but I did technically grow it, you know? So, school time. What is an Adam's apple? It's basically just a blob of cartilage that wraps around the top of your larynx, otherwise known as your voice box. Doesn't really do anything, it's just kind of there. It does kind of protect the stuff going on behind, but it's just there. It's there. And fun fact, it is called an Adam's apple based on the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Adam took a bite of the forbidden fruit, the apple. This is a tiny apple, I don't just have very big hands. But he took a bite of the apple and it got stuck in his throat, causing the blob. Yeah, and that's not what creates Adam's apples, but that's why they're called Adam's apples. And literally everybody has an Adam's apple of some description of whatever varying size, boys, girls, everybody in between, it's there. But they become more prominent the larger your larynx is, because the larger your larynx gets, the more it pushes out that bit of cartilage that is your Adam's apple. And the deeper your voice, the larger your larynx is, typically. And this is why it's most common for cis men and trans women to have larger, more prominent Adam's apples, and then also trans guys who've been on testosterone to also develop prominent ones as well. But that's just what's typical. Sometimes cis guys don't have visible Adam's apples and that's fine, and sometimes cis women do, and that's a thing that can happen. We're all different. And for me, I did always kind of have one that was a bit visible, or maybe I just wanted it to be visible. I'm gonna put a picture in here of me pre-testosterone trying to show off my Adam's apple, or one where you can maybe kind of see a shadow of an Adam's apple. I don't know. I always thought I had one that was like tiny bit prominent, and I always liked that. And then I started testosterone and it just popped. Because it's puberty and testosterone that makes the larynx grow and therefore makes the Adam's apple more prominent. So when I, as a trans guy, started taking testosterone, voila. It is also in combination with your genetics as well, hence why not everybody has the same sized Adam's apple, even if they have the same amount of testosterone. So, if you're a trans guy and you are taking testosterone, will you get a visible Adam's apple? Maybe. That's the honest answer. It really depends on how your voice changes and how much bigger your larynx gets, and also your genetics as well. But it's definitely possible. In short, I didn't have surgery to get an Adam's apple that was visible. I don't use makeup or any kind of prosthetic thing, because that's another theory that people have had about why I have one. It's just there. It's caused by testosterone and genetics. And you don't necessarily need surgery to get one. A lot of trans guys will develop one by taking testosterone, but there is a surgical procedure available if you would like one that is more prominent. It's purely cosmetic. It takes a bit of cartilage from your rib, it makes a little cut under your chin here, it pops in the cartilage, and ta-da, I didn't want to say voila again, I've already used that, but ta-da, you have a larger, more prominent Adam's apple. There is also the reverse kind of procedure. It's far more intensive than getting one put in. I feel like that always seems to be the case. You can get it like shaved down, which is a procedure that quite a lot of trans women might opt for, and some cis women who have more prominent Adam's apples, but you can get it shaved down so that it's no longer like visible on your neck. But it does take quite a while to heal from this, and it can sometimes affect your vocal cords and your voice. So there you have it. This little guy is all natural, baby. I mean, I took testosterone, but I grew it. Like, I grew it, yeah. I take all the credit. And I do quite like the appearance of it. I'm happy to have one. I don't think I've touched it this much ever in this space of time. And that is kind of annoying, because like a weird thing about having like a prominent Adam's apple is it feels a bit sensitive. Like if I bop it, it's like I can feel it. And like occasionally like it gets knocked. I don't know how, just sometimes it gets knocked. Like the top of people's heads can be like throat height for me. If I hug them, it's like, oh, doesn't feel good. That's the annoying thing about it. Other than that, I quite like it. it's cool, it's there, you know, it's present. So yeah, hopefully you learn all about Adam's appleses in this video. Adam's apples 101. Please do not take a shot for every time I say Adam's apple, or testosterone, or throat, or trans, or any other words that I said frequently in this video. Please do not do that. And now you know where mine came from. My throat. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you did, think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you want to see more, but no pressure if you don't want to. And yeah, I will see you next time. Much love. Bye.